We're talking about Mars energy. Welcome to Tuesday. First of all, salutations to my Madrina, to my Padrino, and to my Oba, and to all of my brothers and sisters in Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lakumi, Congo, Palo, Mystic, and Jace. To each and every one of you guys, thank you so much for joining us on tonight. I want to say, first of all, also salutations to my Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Aquarius, Cancer, Capricorn, Leo, Sagittarius, Scorpio, Libra, and Virgo. Hello to each and every one. What's up, my baby Scorpio? What's up, Jeremy? Thank you guys for chiming in on tonight. I was trying to give me a little nap and overslept, but I'm here nonetheless. What's up there, Pisces Goddess? Thank you so much for being with us. To each and every one of you guys, and all of you, especially if you are in the ATRs, I'm doing this tutorial for people that receive their warriors, so to speak. Um, Demetrius, what's up? How we doing, Gemini? Mother Susan, Gemini, back to back. One of the reasons, and I'm gonna talk about ancestor tonight. Not only taking care of your warriors, but taking care of your ancestors and the people that fight for you. Anybody in your particular spiritual court that will go to bat for you. What's up, love? The reason also because I had a young lady just got into receive her warriors, and I want to share universally without telling secrets of the initiation. So I'm gonna discuss something. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're here. To each and every one of you guys, thank you so much for allowing me to share information with you. Now, there, when you get in, when you receive, first of all, they're supposed to what they call pull your guardian angel, and that's where you find out who your head Orisha is. But nonetheless, you've heard that people receive their warriors, and so I'm going to discuss universally how this is applied, and how you can apply your particular warriors. Everybody has a war spirit. I don't care who you are. You have a spirit that will fight for you, and what happens normally, with especially with church people, they're subconsciously and consciously lean to Saint Michael as a warring angel. And typically what shows up is one of the ancestors or the spirits that were assigning you to fight for you. What's up, Karen O'Brien, my Gemini? My 69 is in the house. That's what I'm talking about. That's my Renee. And so Aquarius and stepping in. So I want to share universally why it is important to take care of your fighting team, to take care of your warriors. Now, in Santeria, Lakumi, or Ocha, when someone receives the ceremony, normally they get 5 elekes. Elekes are the necklaces that a person will receive from the Orishas, from their Yaya. I'm not their Yaya, from their Padrino, or from their Madrina, or both, because my godfather and my godmother were present with my ceremony, and they were present with Minister Mario, son of Achosi. I didn't see his, but I knew when I was receiving my elect case, both of them, and they were holding their hands like this. Both of them put the elect case on my neck. So I want to talk about my experience as a melanated person in this ATR. Now, these are, you normally will receive sometimes right away, but it should be in the near future, very, very near future. Ogun and Ochosi. Both Ogun and Ochosi live together. Now, the reason I want to break down, first of all, I'm going to talk about Ogun and Ochosi. But normally it starts with Eligba. But I just woke up, I ain't gonna lie, and I'm still waking up. So I'm gonna talk about Ogun and Ochosi. Ogun represents iron. Iron represents the blood. Ochosi represents the forest or nature. Okay, that can be a sign, and it can be also, and Ogun is also in the forest. The purpose of the iron when it comes to manifestation and magic and working with the cauldrons is that iron is the blood of the universe. The just like life on the blood is the life of the flesh, iron is the life force of these ATR, also inclusive of this. You got to see, it also represents the woman's womb. So when you got nature Ebasha, which is Ochosi, and you have, he's the hunter. But when you see these spirits or deities in nature and why they are depicted in certain types of nature, it has a lot to do with energy, frequency, and vibration. Because you can have Ogun or an Ochosi in your home, and then you should be able to find that particular Orisha or representation of that Orisha in nature. And this is why we go to certain spaces or places in the practice and venerate that particular Orisha. The reason why you need to be able to understand that, certain man, universally, is because this is how you tap into the Ache. The reason why you can tap into Ogun, because you have iron on the inside of your body. When you're initiating or you became a part of this practice, it has a lot to do with nature and your commitment and dedication to nature. Iron, we can use, and we're in the age of Aquarius, so iron is a lot about technology. Ogun is almost in everything and everywhere. And just like in your physical body, iron is all throughout your body. And why iron is so important, iron supports your immune system. So Ogun supports a lot of things that we do and we desire and how just our immune system fights for us. That is Ogun. The more iron you have, not just iron, but you know my concept. The more iron in your body, the more that your immune system is strong and it has the ability to do the things that they do. Okay? Ochosi is nature. Ochosi is the woods. He's the hunter. So therefore, this is how vegetation and trees come into play when it comes down to also manifestation. The herbs and the trees of the earth bring justice. Ochosi does not miss. Mother Nature never misses. I'm going to say that again. Just like Ochosi, Mother Nature never misses. There's nothing in this earth up under the sun that Mother Nature cannot resolve or remedy or cure. That's how deep this is. Then we have Osu. I talked about this on the live with TikTok. Osu is the rooster. It's the lookout man. Osu, when they receive this, if you have received your warriors, this is a representation. I'm not gonna tell you the secrets that are inside of these pots and cauldron, because that ain't my place. Because this is an open forum, and what we put into these objects is you got to be initiated. So Osu is also a warrior, but he's a lookout man. Now I know that through my dad's mother, she's half Cherokee, that I have Indian or Native American spirit, but Saint Black Hawk is another spirit that represent that. Sometimes in hoodoo they use the penny, the Indian on the penny, or people buy Indian statues, but their job is to watch and look out. That's why this is set high in the house or the home or the apartment, wherever you are, and it's set as high as you can set it, because it is representation of the rooster. Now the rooster, if you worked on the farm or you've been around a farm, the rooster get up before the sun, and they say cock-a-doodle-doo. Well, the same concept is true when Yahshua was telling Peter that he would deny him thrice, which means 3 times, and before the cock crows. And so when the cock crows, that's an alarm. When we hear a rooster crowing, I don't know why we call it a cock-a-doodle-doo, this lets us know what the time is. So my point is to know the objects that you receive from your warriors and how to utilize them. Now, also we have a Eligba. Some people say Legwa, but the concept, the stone, the stone that we receive. I got 2 stones in our ceremonies, and these are fed with blood. This is blood magic that takes place. A newly initiate cannot give blood. Okay, it has to be done by your godfather or your godmother during the ceremony, and your lekes are fed blood, and your Eligba is fed blood. Now, what I will say, because people need to understand, Palo in most African traditions, inclusive of Orisha, it is about energy transfer. Orisha must be born by a present Orisha. Thank you. What's up, LB? You cannot go out and buy tools and then say you got an Ochosi or you got your warrior. That's not how that works. It must be birthed by somebody that already is licensed to give Eligba or Osu or Ogun and Ochosi as a warriors. So this must be done by a priest or priestess. Now, this is the type of liquor that we use. Now, there's spiritual pot. I've given out pots that carry more energy. They wasn't this process, but they carry more energy for manifestation. Cauldrons can be awakened by different traditions. But what you don't have a right to do, if you're not initiated in that tradition, to call that particular pot an Ogun. It's a cauldron. You can work with elements and not be a part of a tradition. I'm going to say it again. You can be You can work with the elements of iron, the elements of inanimate objects, which are rocks or stones or crystals, and not be a part of a tradition. You in hoodoo, we use the iron spikes. You don't have to be normally this comes with 3 horseshoes. I got 3 iron spikes in here. And this particular pot was fed the blood. Now, there's certain animals, I'm not going to get into that. Greetings also. There are certain animals that are sacrificed to these warriors. I'm going to say this like I said earlier. Your warriors should be activated. If they don't have an activation, now, we utilize tobacco to feed them. And we utilize this rum, this white liquor to do that. When I say it's 151 proof, this ain't nothing to play with. And then it also is clean or fed red palm oil. So if you've gone through that and you got your warriors, you need your Osu, you need your Eligba, and you need your Ogun and Ochosi. They go together. And so manifestation wise, when it comes down to, because what I wore, I've been wearing dragon's blood oil in representation of Mars. I believe that a lot of melanated people, when they're here and they are receiving certain things, they don't know how to know whether their warriors are alive. The same thing is true if you have ordered my ancestor incense or my guardian angel incense, and those that have utilized that know how it makes your ancestor. If you don't necessarily know who your warriors are in your spiritual court, they know who they are. And most Christians, when they're talking, they're summoning Saint Michael. It's really that war spirit that everybody is born with that is standing up for that individual. Now, every person does not have the degree of power and energy when it comes down to their warriors or their warrior. Now, I'm going to also say, depending on who prepared your Eligba, your Osu, or your Ogun and Ochosi, nothing can be stronger than the vessel that prepared it. When people get involved in the ATRs, they have this mindset they're all powerful. Oh, I got my warriors. There's a degree of measure. I'm going to say this again. People cannot give you something they do not have. When you strengthen your warriors with certain instruments, this allows your warriors to be alert, Osu. It allows your crossroad works or your roads to be open. So, say for instance, if you did have a warrior or you had a road opening spirit, because some people don't use this, they use Ganesh. Some people use Malika. There's so many other deities that can represent crossroad. There's so many other deities or spirits that can represent a lookout. There are so many other spirits that represent iron or Ochosi. So there are other people that may have warriors. They may not have these as warriors, but it doesn't mean they don't have road opening. I want us to understand that everybody has to pull from the same universal principles. And depending on how you entreat them, and how you utilize that energy. So I want to also say, because I don't want to forget, each one of these warriors are a representation of different aspects of yourself. Our body has iron in it. Our third eye is our watchman. Our crossroad is right here. We have a perpendicular line in our bodies. There's nothing and no tool that melanated people are working with that there's no aspect of themselves that are not present. I'm going to say that again. There's no form of magic that you will ever practice that there's something inside of your body is a representation of that very element or that very energy, because you have to work with what's on the inside of you. And if you don't understand, and this is why I tell you guys about being Pisces and Taurus and Gemini or any other zodiac sign, know your energy and know how you as an air element open your roads. You as a fire element open your roads. You as a earth element open your roads, because each element has a road opening and they manifest differently, but nonetheless it still manifests. When you are working with your warriors, or you find yourself in a battle or a fight, you have to understand that you have to, just like anything else, you have to feed them. If you don't feed them, they can't be strong. So we utilize this red palm oil and tobacco. Now, tobacco is ruled by Mars. It is a cleanser, an energizer, and a communicator, because tobacco is also used to communicate with the spirits or the ego. So smoking a cigarette, I guess. Now, this right here is the skin from the goat's nuts. I was going through a ceremony and my Patrino wanted me to use this for protection. So, let me show you the science. This is no different when you burning your incense, breath of life, right? We blow the tobacco in there. It's energizing, it's cleansing. Now this particular, I meant to say this. This particular Osu is not mine. It is Minister Mario, son of a chosen. My Osu is up in my prayer room. All the Orishas receive tobacco. It is an herb that your eguns are received. Normally, most spirits love tobacco. Now, we can actually, I got a pendulum. Hold on. Because when I was talking to earlier, I didn't have this, it didn't come to my mind. But knowing your Eligba or your Eligwa or anything that you got that it's alive and it has energy. So we use the form of divination or shells or obi to communicate with the Orishas. But hold on just a minute. This is alive. This is even though I had this in the church, and I was gonna give this, but I couldn't give this because this cauldron was giving blood. So that's the only reason. One, I don't know if I was giving it to my son or something, but it was giving life through blood. So he's not a crown or initiated, so I didn't give it. Okay. Energy don't lie. Hold on, just a minute. And let me tell you that any spirit that can open doors can close. Do not forget that in magic and spirituality you have duality. Hear these words which I speak on call to thee. It turning already. Eligba, 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 Eligba. You should be able to see a sign that there's life or energy in your Orisha. And as you can see how fast it's turning, that means that this Eligba is strong, very strong. Now remember, I elevate my Orishas and my spirits to extraterrestrial. So, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, that's why I was saying when I was on TikTok, it's not just a rock. It has to have the life force, not only of the transference of energy from one Orisha to the next, but it must be, depending on how it was prepared, it has to have energy, frequency, and vibration. That's the only way that you can work your warriors. If your warriors are not alive, yes, this is what we awaken Ogun with, or any or most of all the Rishas, Sepho Batala. But we use this rum, and now let me tell you something. Can I say this? If you got your ligwa, use hutia and toasted corn. I don't think that's telling anything. Hutia is fish, and hutia is rat. My bad. I don't know why I think about fish. Think about eating tail. Hutia is rat, and also corn. Utilized to also feed your orishas and your pots. So, I have one that I have a bottle where I have the hutia and the corn inside of the bottle, and I spray the bottle. This is also red palm oil. This is the brand that I use. My Padrino them use this brand right here, and this is providing if you do have your warriors. And notice that it is red. Now I explained earlier that the palm oil is a representation of Shango. Shango deals with our enemies, so and it's a representation of the palm tree. So if you're in the Bible, the palm tree is a significant, a symbol of prosperity and growing like the Green Bay tree. So this aspects of prospering, and I did have to deal with a young man because if melanated people go this far to get initiated, they should receive things that actually work and that are living. Energy, I don't care what your tradition is. I don't care if you got a gree bag. I don't care if you got a talisman. Energy can be detected. I don't care if it's a candle. That's why sometimes I love when Demetrius be on my live, or I may send him a picture. If that cauldron or that working is living, you're gonna pick up that energy. Energy cannot be destroyed. Why that's important? Because how are you gonna work with the spirits if it's not alive? And that's how you will know whether somebody gave you objects and not basically they gave you the gun and not the bullets. I'm gonna use that analogy. They gave you the gun, but didn't give you no bullets. The bullets is the energy, the frequency, and the vibration through the energy transfer. So that's why that is important. And I want you to know the purpose of each and how you work them. Just like our bodies are iron, and just like iron is not only to strengthen the immune system, that iron or blood when a woman's menstruating, that iron cleanses the body. So we can use Ogun to cleanse people. We can use iron to cleanse, break hexes, break curses. You got to know which element to utilize for the manifestation, depending on what you're trying to get done. Now, a lot of us put Eligba behind the door. Our warriors are supposed to. If you don't have room, you don't have to. You got to utilize the space that you got. But they normally go to the front of your door until you move and progressively move further into Ocha or a Santeria faith, a Lokumen. But this is the watchman. This is lookout. I don't know if I mentioned the name of the spirit, but his name is Saint Black Hawk. We utilize him in hoodoo or Native American people that are attached to indigenous people. I myself am a part of that, but you don't have to be have these elements to utilize the same energy, the same frequency, the same vibration in your particular tradition. Because Ogun Fare can get the job done, Papa Legba can get the job done, and then we have different Loas that watch out and they're watchmen as well. So every tradition has this setup. So it's not these elements, but not these warriors, but the same type of element can be utilized in Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lokumen, Obia, Conjure, a watchman spirits, or some people use the term monitoring spirits, but that's the same concept as a lookout. And when somebody robbing somebody, they got a lookout man or a lookout woman. It's the same kind. They may have a gun, they may not, but their main job is to look out, pay attention to what's going on while they back there doing what they do. So the same thing is true. This is the reason why this is set up high, because this is supposed to pick up anything that is coming towards you to hurt, harm, or injure you in a harmful manner. I'm trying to get out of the word using negative. So, but tobacco is so essential to the practice of Orisha faith. So, I also want to talk about dragon's blood in it, more in a sense to you that understand the resin. Dragon blood empowers the same energy when it comes down to Mars. Anything that represents Mars can energize, empower, or they can defend offensively or become defensive. Mars energy is not always attack. A Mars energy can be utilized to shield and defend your territory. I think that a lot of people get into this and they forget that this is all energy, frequency, and vibration. And now, these are states. I think I explained this on my other video. Now, that ain't what come with your pot. It's usually three horseshoes, and it allow three horseshoes allow your spirit to be able to walk, representing of the horse and the hoof. It every and I'm gonna say this in fairness to other madrinas and padrinos in this faith. I can't tell you or tell them what they initially give you and when it to give it. I'm just saying you cannot operate in this religion without this, even on a basic level. Okay. I will also say I can't tell them how many elekes to give you. Long as they're activated, I personally don't care. If you melanated and they're activated and they done their job by you and your stuff is viable, then I don't have a problem. I mean, I don't determine how they run their house. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't tell them how to run their house. As long as at the end of the day you're getting what you need and it's actually awakened and it's alive, then they've done their job by you. Now, you utilizing your warriors is your personal journey. Having an understanding of iron is going to help you. Having an understanding of inanimate objects and being able to, because if you know how to give a ligba life, then you're going to know how to give a dog life. Then you're going to know how to give a candle life. So this concept, giving life, ache, to individuals. Now, the other person that is newly initiated in this should have the warriors to protect them, but also this one thing. They should be protected by the guardian angel of their madrina or their padrino. Or if they got two, then both of those guardians should be protecting that individual. And you should not be going through certain things. This is why I don't believe in a form of godliness denying the power of in any tradition. In any tradition. When you don't activate those objects, the people cannot benefit. I'm gonna tell you, I say this. Maracas are a symbolization of the law of rhythm. In Haitian voodoo, we use this. The rattles. I was showing them this particular, I'm a child of Oya. This is a rattle. And my sisters that were in the ceremony, they all had this, and I had to receive 9 of these for Oya. But it's a Ponciata tree. One of the Susan said I said it wrong, but a Ponciata tree, and it's one of the manifestation of the bud that we use, and those rattles in there can drive out evil spirits. Now, like I said, it has to be awakened. It ain't for to drive out nothing and nobody if there's no power or ache or chi or prana or that Mars energy as an active volatile energy that's at work for you. This is why we strengthen what is iron is called the willpower. When you got strong willpower or iron, What would we say in our culture? Where there's a will, there's a way. Where you have iron, there's a way. This is why you should have confidence, not just because somebody is calling Ogun or Chosi or Legba, but you should or Osu, because you understand the science behind or the element behind that particular practice. And yes, where there's iron, and iron can become anything. An axe, a sword, it can be a shield. Iron is just like faith. Whatever you need, it can materialize as such. So that's why that's important. So if you have a spirit that you work with that's like Ganesh, let's use that as an example, then you burn your roll opening incense with that particular. Now, all of you that have your either Palo membership or you have your Haitian Voodoo membership, this is why Demetrius do it more than anybody. But I'm encouraging you. He when I'm burning incense from him for him, I'm normally burning in front of one of the Impungos or Lucero. Lucero is the same concept about road opening. He can open roads and he can close roads. He just like Eshu. This is where yin and yang, when it comes down to this particular Orisha, the light side where he's a saint is Eligba. Where he is the dark side is Eshu. There's duality in every Orisha, and there's duality in their manifestation in nature. Never forget that. Do not try to practice a religion humanizing them. You need to understand them as an energy. And you can strengthen your pots because you can always build the energy. And that's where candle work comes in, because fire is representative of energy. And I got some of the myrrh candles over there burning from yesterday, in front of the Impungos. As long as they're giving you your and I'm sorry, shea butter is another element that we use to take care of their warriors. I'm sorry. We can use coconut, shea butter, they call it but that's what it is. And they grease these pots down, and they do this. But my Eligba was giving blood. Once they start giving blood, it's on a whole nother level. I'm just saying, once blood start being involved in your ceremony, monies, it's on a whole nother level. So every time you see blood or some people call it minga, that work is on that's because you're dealing with DNA. And that is hard to break. So the ceremony has to be done correctly. Okay? People like, oh, just redo it. It ain't that simple. Make sure whoever you are going to understands these ceremonies and you yourself, the basic information of roll opening I gave you, because I can't give you the secrets. I can't tell you how to make this, because you can't, unless you are Santero or Santera or Oba or Sata Orientate. You can't do this, and you have to receive the transferring of energy to your particular Orisha. So I want to get black people clear. I don't want people strewing over you, but I also don't want you walking around with unrealistic expectation. If you don't feed your ancestors, my ancestor incense, or something that strengthens them, the same thing is true. You can't get them to do what you have not fueled them to do. You cannot get them to protect you if you have not given them the ache to do so. So, taking care of yourself is a part of protection, but taking care of any spirit or spirits set of spirits that allow you. The incense, if you're going to burn today, will have to be, in my opinion, triple threat or blockbuster because of the red element, which will also represent Mars. So, triple threat or blockbuster. If you have those products from me, burning them throughout the day before 12 o'clock comes will still be a manifestation in the energy. Most energy linger at least 3 hours after 12 o'clock. So that's why they call them the bewitching hours, because you have a mixture of the day that just passed to about 3 o'clock, and then it's like ocean water and fresh water. They call it brackwater. There's a threshold where there's a lingering energy from the following day to 3 o'clock. So we have bewitching hours at 3, 6, and 9. Those are the witching hours in the 4 day in the morning. So that's why that time zone matters, because that energy is still present and you can be utilized. That's free game. So I hope this helped you. I was contemplating what to come back on live because I'm tired. This I shouldn't say stuff, but this takes a lot out of me. Energetically and engaging with people and being around Orishas and these spirits. They get fed. Let me get this one. I will always keep this cauldron because that's my first cauldron. And I'm gonna say this: energy does not die. So when people throw stuff away, you throwing away your energy. I wouldn't do it, but you grown. I need to know when you became a part of those ceremonies. That's your energy. I don't care what happened between your Madrina and your Oba, your Tata Oriente, your Oba. I don't care. When you got your energy involved there, take your stuff. In my humble opinion. When there's a situation where my yaya was doing some stuff and they were telling me leave my ancestor staff, because she made me keep my ancestor staff on the cauldron for 120 days, and they were telling me just leave it. I said, my blood is on that. I'm not leaving my staff. Hell no. So you can't be scary, because what you have to understand, it's not the person that gave you those items. The spirit gave you those items. I'm gonna say that again. Whether you in Palo, whether you in Kamdamle, whether you in, do not forget, just like in the church, that wasn't the person that gave you that word. That was supposedly God gave you that word. So that person don't have no jurisdiction on the prophecy or the word that was given. Your yaya, your tata, they're just officiating the service or the ceremony. They're not determining what spirits are coming in and speaking. Your ancestor determined that. And you should never get initiated with somebody you don't trust. And that's just like in a relationship. You want to worry about it, do they got STD after y'all done fucked? That's putting the cart before the horse. That ain't the time to try to ask them questions. This is why I know my what I went through in my ceremonies while they're alive. I do not let nobody lead me around blind. You may be able to feel the energy by using your hands. There's many methods of how to test energy, and all I'm just saying, at the very least, you want to know that person empowered. I got candles over there that have been consecrated. They got power. When it's time for my client, and if you smoke cigars, utilize the ashes, because ashes still carry what? Energy, frequency, and vibration. When you clear your atmosphere, I'm not even a smoker. I'm not a drinker. But at the end of the day, I understand science. I understand energy, frequency, and vibration. So giving my own breath to my objects, in this case, my ligba, is the same thing you would do for a candle or a working. You give it your ache to manifest. That's what we call giving life, because nothing can move in the spirit world without energy. I guess I can do this. This stuff is so hot. And remember this, whether you know it or not, when we put this liquor in our mouth, remember saliva is still blood. That's why we call liquor spirit. Woo! Ah! Osu. So, if you're venerating your ancestors, are you giving them offerings? All of this stuff strengthens your spirits to fight. You gotta have a strong fighting team. Many of you guys do the graveyard donations. That also helps strengthen your warriors. So there's utilizing them and knowing why. I'm gonna say this: you should not go to war or fight without sitting down and count the cost. You should not go into warfare without understanding who you're going up against. But I wanted you to understand, warriors, why this matters, why awakening them and you benefiting from their energy, frequency, and vibration. Now, like I said, where you place them at, most of us have been told to place them at our doorway. That's what I everywhere I went, this is the common practice. Doesn't mean that if something was going on, you could not put your warriors in your bedroom if you got a 1-bedroom apartment. You got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you another thing. I would not keep my warriors outside for other people to tamper with, other animals or whatever. I believe in being responsible and being aware of your environment. People shouldn't be touching your stuff. So if you got, and sometimes people don't put their words at the door because they don't want nobody asking them, what is that? Because they may come over there to give you some tail, but when they see that, they might, now you into some kind of voodoo or something. But like I said, it is what it is. It's what you practice. It's the things that we do to take care of them, and they take care of us. Working with Dragon's Blood gets rid of a lot of and parasites are things that live off of the host. So anything that is there to drain you, I put black kyanite. Black kyanite protects the aura and it seals up any holes that you may have incurred through warfare or somebody working on you. And this does that. But I keep that with Ilikbal. And then I have fossilized amber. And amber is of the pine tree family. I be doing all kind of slick stuff. And then the goat nuts. That's why I say you don't know what people got to protect themselves and defend themselves. And then I got I put tobacco as an offering to Ilikbal. But that's how I do it. And I understand my connectivity to it. So I hope I made that clear. I explained that. Red palm oil. I do have black palm oil, but I use this red palm oil for Ogun and Ochosi. And I'm sorry, sir and ma'am, that I don't have the instruments inside of them because I was rushing. All right. So I hope this helped. I hope this made sense. If this is something you endeavor to do. Now, I'm not saying I cannot do these give out warriors, because I can. It is not a personal desire of mine, but I will do what I do to help people. So I say that. I got into a lot of things just having tools as a pastor, because as a shepherd, I never know who's gonna walk through my doors. So when you're on the platform on social media, you never know who's gonna show up. So I'd rather have more than enough than not enough, and that's my mentality. So that's why I don't have a problem growing. Eventually, I'm gonna be able to get into Comme Dem Lay and further my education and experience in that particular tradition. But I don't mind learning. I don't mind, because the more tools I have, and let me say something, the more tools you have, the more you gotta keep up those tools. The more tools you have, the more you gotta keep up. So don't just think it's just, I'm gonna get my words and they're gonna fight for me. You gotta maintain those. All right. So thank you. Appreciate and much love to each and every one of you. Thank you.